Diaries of a Madman. By What Must I Do? Chapter 191. Part 1 of 6. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to end up on a volcano surrounded by dragons. Where are we? I asked, looking around. It seemed kinda sorta vaguely familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. This is on the trail of the dragon migration, the fake Flo said. I am surprised you don't remember it. And I'm surprised we're here. I didn't really consider this a pivotal moment. Not to you, perhaps, the reasonable Twilight said. I turned around and beheld Twiggles, Cot, Spike, and Luna. I also finally saw the other me and the other Spike, who were walking down the edge of the volcano. But you were not the only one there. Your actions have ripples that, while they may not directly affect you, do cause reactions further on. It's weird that this memory holds no value to you, the prideful Spike said. This is when you helped a friend against all odds learn more about who he was. That is something to be proud of. I know why, my sadistic Cot said with a giggle. She's mad she got abandoned and torched. And the fear she felt during all of it ruled her mind, the timid Wona said. Most don't like remembering almost dying. Spike deserved to know more about himself. We couldn't find much information in the pony libraries, for what later became obvious reasons. That left talking to other dragons. I knew the girls wouldn't be happy about it and that they'd follow us, and sure enough, they did. Not only did they follow us, they fucked everything up. And then, like fucking clockwork, almost everyone abandoned me to fend for myself. Luckily, Dash is a little more loyal than the rest of them, so I'm still standing here today. We both got a little bit crispy, but it's certainly better than being lunch. Twilight said she didn't abandon you on purpose, Fear said. Do you believe her? I had no other choice but to believe her. I don't suppose we have any memories about this one. We do, Pride said. 2. He reached up and poked me right between the eyes. The first memory was apparently of the conversation between Spike and the big dragon after his mate carried me off. The big dude was looking Spike up and down, though there really wasn't much to see. He finally grunted. So you were hatched in a magic school. Do you know where the ponies got your egg? No. None of the ponies I've asked knew, either. That is not surprising. Celestia does so enjoy her censorship. How have you been treated? Really good, for the most part. Princess Celestia raised me herself. Now I'm mostly working with one of her magic students. Celestia raised you herself? Does she know you are here? I mean, I don't think she does. I didn't tell her, but Twilight might have. No, she couldn't have sent a letter. She uses my dragon breath to do it, so I doubt the princess knows. Why? Because if she did, she likely would be on her way to get you. I highly doubt you were meant to speak to another dragon anytime soon. What do you mean? Why wouldn't she want me to meet another dragon? There is much you do not know. However, I would be very hesitant to tell the son of Princess Celestia the truth. If you choose to return and she finds out what you know, she might come after us. What? Why? Because the truth is not a pretty thing. Your egg was a spoil of war. The ponies were keeping you hostage. I can't believe Celestia found a way to hatch one. Hostage. As I said, the truth is not pretty. There is much you do not know about Celestia. She was not always so docile, nor so open and foe-friendly. You have a choice to make, Spike. If Celestia raised you herself, it means she has a plan for you. It likely will not be enjoyable. You can join us. If she doesn't know you're here, she'll never be able to find you. Your egg came from Iceland. If we can get you there, to either Bahamut or Pyrite, you'll be safe. Leave Equestria. Indeed. What is there for you here, Spike? You've lived among the ponies for at least a few years, now. Do you really think you have a future here? In another 50 to 70 years, most of your friends will be gone. Finally, Celestia will be all you have left. And that's when she'll begin to use you. Use me how? If I had to guess, I would say as a weapon. She always keeps a few predators around to deal with unpleasant problems. Your friend looks like one such fellow, if I had to guess. You mean Nav? He's had to work for her before. But then, so have I. So you have already seen that your connection to Celestia means little. I advise joining us while you have the chance. This could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you to escape her grasp, Spike. The little fellow cast his eyes down. I wasn't expecting Spike to look so torn. He always seemed fairly content in Ponyville back then. Sure, he wanted to know more about himself, but I had no idea he was considering leaving. Finally, he looked back up at the large dragon. She's using Nav, too. And he helped me get here when none of the ponies would. Let him come and I'll join you. He would not be welcome in Iceland, but I can promise him a ride to somewhere he will be comfortable, somewhere outside of Celestia's grasp. It would be possible for you to visit him later, after you gain your wings. Before Spike could reply, some shouting made them look away. Apparently that's when Rarity and Twilight got caught in their ridiculous green costume. The dragons were tearing it apart and dragging the two terrified ponies out. That's when the memory ended. Hey, I said. Again, you have a reason to be proud, Pride said. You helped a friend learn more about who he was. You tried to help him escape what could have been a really bad situation. You helped give Spike a missing piece of himself, Reason said. Even if this didn't end as he hoped, he finally learned more. It still wasn't anywhere near enough and he wasn't quite sure that he believed it, but it was more than anyone else had done for him. You have always been someone Spike can rely upon, Pride continued. You have helped him time and time again. Spike chose to leave, as long as he could take you with him. What would you have said? To be honest, I don't know. A part of me wanted nothing more than to leave. I really didn't see much of a future for myself as Celestia's lapdog. That said, I also had the feeling that trying to run would be a really bad idea if I got caught, especially if it ended up looking like I dragon napped Celestia's son. She already threatened to imprison me once. I wasn't looking forward to seeing what she would do if she got her hooves on me again. If the dragon's offer about a safe place was true, I like to think I would have taken it. Unfortunately, he never got the chance to make it. Your fear of the unknown would have stopped you, Fear said. And your fear of Celestia was even worse. There was no way you could have ever left. You knew she'd have you dragged back in irons. Or worse, Pain said, bouncing up and down in a way I found hypnotizing. Like giving you to Luna. God help me. To be fair, I would be suspicious of the dragon's offer. I might also try to talk Spike out of it. But if the dragon seemed sincere enough and was confident that I'd be safe from Celestia, maybe. I'm not sure if I knew at the time that Celestia would be able to teleport me from wherever she wanted. And from the looks of things, Celestia wouldn't have been in a hurry to give me to her sister. I'm not sure when or if she ever changed her mind, but she definitely didn't look too happy in those other memories. But that's not to say torture or something was off the table. Or maybe giving me to Cot. What do you think of Spike's demand? Reason asked. I think it was nice of him, I said. I'm happy that he was trying to look out for me. And I guess this is something to be proud of, but I really don't feel much pride in anything. That is something you should strive to fix, Pride said. How can you ever expect to feel good about yourself if you feel no pride in any of the good you've done? You hope to use this coma to kill the bad in you. It has to be replaced with something. Being dead inside can't be that bad. So how should I go about feeling pride? I ask. Perhaps I can help, Reason said. The other memory might assist. I leaned down so she could more easily poke me. I appeared in the middle of the woods. A split second after I arrived, Twilight, Rarity, and Spike all teleported in. Twiggles grinned and cantered in place. We made it. Where's Nav? Spike asked. What do you mean? I teleported him. As she was saying that, though, she was looking around. Sure enough, I was nowhere to be found. Nav. Did you leave him behind? Rarity shouted. No. I used enough magic to grab him, too. Where is he? You left him behind. Spike shouted. Why were you there at all? We were doing just fine. Because we were worried about you, Twilight said. But we kinda have a bigger problem, now. Nav is still back there. Right as she said that, we could all hear the echoes of roars. I'm not sure quite where they were, but it couldn't be that far away. So is Rainbow Dash, Rarity said. And as much as I'd like to go back and try to help him, I really don't think there's much we can do, unless you still have enough magic to teleport back. Otherwise, we need to hope Rainbow can help him while we try and get to safety. How can she help him against hundreds of dragons? Spike demanded. I'm going back. He started trying to leave, but Rarity grabbed one of his claws. Spike, I may be the element of generosity, but there comes a time when you must think about your own safety. By the time we could find a way back there, Nav will have either escaped or be beyond our help. We must do our best to get away before the dragons can begin organizing search parties. With their noses and eyes, it will be easy for them to spot us. We can't stay here, and going back would be suicide. If Nav isn't there when we return, we can inform Celestia. If he's still alive, she will be able to get him back. As she said, I don't think I have enough magic to get back, Twilight said. And even if I did, I probably wouldn't have enough magic to teleport the two of us back here. I don't like it, but she might be right. The best thing we can do for Nav right now is to get help. With luck, he'll escape and be waiting back there for us with some super rude comments about how we abandoned him. And about how ugly I am. Rarity hissed. You know he was just joking, Twilight said. Every pony knows you're beautiful, even if it has been a few days since you had a chance to groom yourself. Well, we'll have to see about getting home soon to change that. Knowing Nav, I'm confident that he will be waiting for us. If anyone can survive those overgrown lizards, it's that dashing rogue. Dashing rogue? I said. Seriously. We really need to get moving, Twilight said. They won't stay on the mountain forever. We need to go, Spike. It very much looked like he wanted to keep arguing the point, but he and I both knew how futile it would be. The poor dragon let them pull him away without a word, though his tail was wagging enough to let me know he was pissed. Just like that, I was back on the volcano. At this point, I was watching myself get chased by all the dragons. I was too far away to see my expression, but I had a feeling that it was terrified. Still, it was an impressive performance. Fear certainly goads you well, Fake Luna said. Look at you go. Yeah, I'm not a fan of being eaten. So, I guess that memory confirms Twilight left me on accident. I'm not sure how I feel about them refusing to try helping me, but I do understand their extremely self-serving reasoning. I figured Spike would try to fight back more, but I guess he understood the futility of it. Ponies don't seem like very good friends, Reason said. Of course they're not good friends, I said. Twilight is so bad at it she still has to send a letter about it to her teacher every week. That said, I'm also lacking in the friend department. I may do nice things for people sometimes, but I'm usually really caustic and mean about it. Only when they deserve it, Pride said. Sometimes. Of course, it's easy for me to say that. What's deserving it? It's obvious, Pain said. Those who waste your time with nonsense deserve whatever comes to them. Right, of course. And since I live in a nonsensical world, people give me a lot of nonsense. I think it's time to accept that fundamentally, me being a human essentially turns everyone around me into mouth-breathing retards. I'm going to be getting a lot of nonsense. I can't keep being a dick to everyone just because they hit me with some bullshit. Then I have a recommendation, Pride said. You are a wealthy, powerful person. Why surround yourself with people who give you nonsense in the first place? Because I really don't want to turn into Celestia. There's times I might want to pay for professionalism, but there's also something to be said for having a staff who actually likes you. I haven't taken to being a noble very well. I don't like everyone working around me. I don't like everyone having plans and intentions for me. Then it is time to nip them in the bud, Pride said. You have been allowing others to push you. You have merely been reacting to those around you. It is time to lead. That means picking your vision of you and making the others to fall in line. That's what this coma is for. Once I pick my ideal version of me, I just have to hope they don't slit my throat and tell me that I turned evil or something. Now, let's get back on topic. I think we were talking about how I'm supposed to be proud of being Spike's friend or something. Not that being his friend has ever done you much good, Payne said with a little giggle. Very true. My friendship with Spike has been a painful one. That said, it's usually not his fault. But you have helped him grow, Reason said. You have turned him from a cowering pet lizard into a fearsome dragon. He's definitely still growing, but I guess I should be proud of how far he's come. And how far you've taken him, Pride said. Who would he be, if not for you? Twilight's eternal lap dragon? Or maybe Rarity's dress-up doll? I don't know, it wouldn't have been all bad. She would have hooked him up with a cute colt. But I do think he prefers being my pet dragon. At least I feed him properly. A dragon is a powerful thing to have in your back pocket, Pride said. It is. But I always have to remember that Spike is my friend, not an employee. That could be rectified, Fear said. You would be a terror to behold, with a properly trained dragon at your beck and call. I'm a terror to behold without it. I don't want to turn Spike into a weapon. If he decides he wants to keep fighting, that's on him. And if he decides later on to become a vassal, then maybe. I certainly wouldn't mind bathing some parts of the world in flames. You always take care not to control others too much, Reason said. Why? Because I don't want to be controlled. I'm learning more and more that some people do want that. Some people need it. If Spike finds that he does need someone to keep him stable, then I'd be proud to add him to my collection. I'd rather teach him to be his own person, though. You're such a good, loyal friend, Payne sarcastically said. I can't help but wonder why, after all your so-called friends have put you through. Well, I guess we'll find out why together. As for this memory, I need to stop underestimating how much I mean to people. I seem to do it all the time. It's time to start acting with the knowledge that my words and actions carry a lot of weight with a lot of people. I effectively saved Spike's life a few times and helped answer as many of his questions as possible. That is absolutely something to be proud of, and acting like it's not is honestly insulting. It is, Reason said. The look of betrayal in the eyes of others when you deny how important you are is always uncomfortable. Yet. Anyway, we still have a lot of time to cover. I think I'm done here. Shall we move on? We shall, my guide said. Her eyes flashed and off we went. End of part 1.